Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Good evening. Welcome to Walk It Off. I'm going to warn everyone right now, I'm not in a good mood. I'm not in a good mood at all. There's certain things in life you don't do. There's certain things you don't say to certain people and certain things you don't spin zone, as I've been told today, about someone. Well, I'm going to try my best to keep it within the rails today. Be a good example. Can't promise it'll stay there. I want to start this off real quick. I'm not a perfect Christian. I don't claim to be. I hope I don't act like I am. I'm not. We'll get into that later on to the show, maybe. But what we are going to get into today is LSU Baseball versus Georgia. How that series worked out. Kind of like how I said it would work out. How I thought the South Carolina series was a mirage. Kind of like what I said about this team earlier in the season. It was a mirage of a good team, but I digress. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the... Dude, I don't understand. I see the Louisiana education system on Twitter. I see it. I see the poor average of education within the state, but then it gets outside of the state of Louisiana. I'm like, I thought y'all were smarter than us, apparently. Apparently you're not. You're all mouth breathers. You're all idiots. Told y'all one in a good mood. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into the mouth breathers and the idiots who want to fire Jay Johnson. And then I'm also going to get on to you, the fan, for giving those people the freaking attention. It makes no sense. You complain about them, you follow them. You repost them. You quote them. You give them more ammunition and more drive to do whatever they're doing. But they're terrible. It's like knowing you're on a diet, going to McDonald's and saying, I'm going to buy the grilled chicken sandwich because that's the healthy version. It's still McDonald's, dude. You're not eating healthy. Jared didn't lose weight at Subway because he ate Subway. He lost weight because he walked to Subway. God, people aggravate me. Also, going to get into what needs to be done for this LSU baseball team to carry on further into the season. Like I said before, I don't see them making the postseason. There is still a chance. It's a very slim chance. It's a very minuscule, microscopic, nuclear atomic level chance of them making the postseason, but still there. So we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to look at some LSU Tigers in the pros, see how they're holding up, how they're performing right now. Because, well, I want to talk about something good today. We're going to do the pick to click prize later for the Skip Burtman ball because I didn't even go check. But I'm pretty positive no one had Chris Stanfield hitting a home run on Saturday, which, by the way, shout out to La Cobra 225. Me and him had I told him to put stakes on it. He didn't. Had a wager beginning of the year. I said, in all honesty, he said Stanley would hit 5 home runs, but the line was set at 2.5. I felt pretty confident. Well, I was wrong. Stanley hit 3. Congratulations to Chris Stanfield for hitting 3. I really hope Stanley gets picked up by somebody in the, hope Chris Stanfield gets picked up by somebody by Major League Draft because he's a good ball player. He's a good hitter, outstanding fielder. The man's been playing through more injuries than you could possibly imagine this year. It's ridiculous. But I digress. Let's get into the stupidity of you real quick. I've said this from the first show. Where you follow, where you subscribe to, where you interact, you may not be using actual fungible dollars, but it's still voting with your pocket. I'm not going to bring up their name. It's not worth it. I do want to apologize to one person on X. He's a good guy. But I want to apologize to Caden Yaps, at Caden Yaps. His name's Caden. I think He went to LSU, but it doesn't matter. I want to apologize to him. And I apologized to him last night because in a response I had to a post he made, it was very directed at, it wasn't meant to be directed at him, but it ended up being, I could tell where it could be directed at him. And I said, why do all of you keep reposting, giving these people, it's like, well, they want attention. I'm going to bring up 2 other instances, just to kind of give you an example. Earlier in the year, in January, I'm at Alec Box. I look at my phone. Actually, I believe it was David Billiot sent me the article about Derek Carriel breaking his ankle. Well, about 10 minutes later, I caught a video of Derek Carriel hitting a bomb into the upper part of the diamond deck in right field. So I was like, ankle looks fine. Then earlier this season with women's basketball, they lose in a tournament, and all of a sudden, during the middle of the game, actually, there's a story comes out from these morons, these mongoloids, that Kim Mulkey's retiring after the season. My simple, and I'll take a little bit of the hit. I did comment on their post, so I'm terrible. I take some of the hit too. I asked them, so I told them in January, if his ankle isn't broken, delete your account. And then I said again, if Kim Mulkey doesn't retire within a month of this season, delete your account. I wish X had a better customer service representative thing, just to get those idiots. Honestly, there's no disrespect to guys like La Cobra or Tiger Joker. Not saying you're a burner, but you get what I'm saying. Your name's not on the thing. But to the vast majority of people who don't have their name on their account, I wish Elon would just block that. End that. Make everybody put a picture of themselves and their name on their account, so you have to stand up and face what you say. It's not that hard. But these AI idiots, who also, by the way, these idiots try to say that because this me wearing this has came into a lot of conversations today trying to attack me with it. We'll get into that. During the what was it, the A&M series? Saturday game, A&M series. We had the tailgate. A lot of you, some of you came, a lot of you didn't. Doesn't matter. We're doing it again this Saturday, actually, for the Florida game. Saturday game, Florida, tailgate. Same spot as it was before. Hope to see you there. That day, a homeless man came up to me, and I could tell he was homeless. He didn't look well. And he came over, he was just talking to us. And he asked for water and things of that nature. We gave it to him, and I talked to him. I said, hey, where you from? What's going on? Trying to just figure out what's going on with this man. And trying to see what's going on with this man. And he tells me he's homeless. He's walked from here. He's done this. He's done that. He's trying to get away from addiction and help his addiction. And so I prayed with him. He was homeless. He had one shirt on him. So I gave him a Jesus one shirt, like that one right there. I felt like it would be a good thing, nice thing to do. Give him a shirt, all that jazz. Well, I can't affect what the man does after that. The man gets a free ticket into the game that night, gets drunk. He's jumping on top of the first base dugout, harassing the fans. Somebody that we all love dearly, whether you know him or not, actually pinned that idiot to the ground by his throat. Found out later. That's how I found out this idiot got drunk and started doing that. Well, that the stupid account said, was that you on the dugout? No. Sorry, buddy. Good try. Nice try. I don't drink very much. If you know me, you know that. I don't drink much. And I did drink that Saturday. And I think I'll be drinking this Saturday. But I don't get that drunk. Not anymore. Not anymore. But stop using your dollar, your follow button, your repost button, your comment button, your like button on mouth breathers. Everyone complains about certain accounts. And it's not just the 1, 2, 3 accounts that are associated with these idiots. There's more than that. Stop hitting the button. Guess what happens if you don't hit the button? They're not in the algorithm anymore. Then I don't have to wake up and read Jay Johnson should be fired. Are you kidding me? How stupid. Is your IQ lower than double digits? A thermostat setting is smarter than you. And by the way, I'll call out everybody. If I see another post, one more post of Nate Yeski in hijab or Muslim Islamic garb, buddy, you don't want it. You don't want it. It's stupid. It's idiotic. I don't care if you sit here and tell me, well, you know, I was upset. No, it's like the whole thing growing up. I used to drink a lot. I told y'all, I'm not a perfect Christian. I never have been. I used to drink a lot. It was a problem. It was a problem. Like, you know how some of you go to the doctor and they say you feel bad because, like, they say, how many drinks you have a week? And you may go to the bar once a week, have 6 drinks. You're like, oh, I have like, you know, 1 a week, 2 a month, 4 a month, whatever. No, it was every day for me. I have friends that have may be seeing me on this somewhere, and they'll tell you, yeah, one of my best friends, a guy that I consider family. I remember him having to sit down and have a talk with me because of my drinking. And it scared him. So yeah, I used to, not saying I'm perfect. But you remember how you used to drink, and when you were like in your early 20s, maybe mid 20s, some people 30s, you would, you know, go out to the bar, you'd do all this drinking, you'd have all this fun, and all of a sudden the next day you wake up and go, oh man, I didn't know what I was doing. I was drunk. You were lying. You were lying. And I see the comments. Daly's right. He did turn water to wine. Hallelujah. Amen. But when you say you don't remember what you did, you lied. Tell me you didn't. Now, you can black out. And if you were, you know, drugged in your drink, I apologize. You really don't remember what you did. But if it's a regular night and you just got wasted, you were lying. You knew exactly what you were doing. You just didn't care. That's the difference between growing up and acting like a child. All these posts of who's the leader of ISIS, and it's Nate Yeski or Jay Johnson and this and that and this and that. It's funny to you. I want to bring something else up too. You look at these recruits that were getting to campus, like Beatty or CJ Weinstein or Weinstein, however you want to say it. I'm sorry, there's multiple pronunciations. And you talk about looking at the transfer portal and getting more guys. Guess what recruits are on, stupid? Social media. They see everything. You sit here and you literally want to post stuff. No, Joy, I know you won't. Daily, I know you won't post any of that. It's not directed to you, sweetheart, I promise. You got recruits and everybody looking at all this. What makes them want to come to Baton Rouge? When you got that? Well, Jay Johnson should make him come to Baton Rouge. Yeah. Okay. Sure. It doesn't change the idiotic behavior online and the mouth breathers. Like, that would be something if my child was at another school and he played college baseball. My child's at another school and he's looking to go to the campuses. I'm looking at the social media and saying, hey, how do they act? How do they act? Because the way you want to act right now may push your coach out the door. It almost did already. In that instance, it was the mouth breathers. It already almost done it once. So, no, Jay Johnson should not be fired. Okay? He shouldn't be fired. I went back and I even pulled up the numbers, what Jay Johnson's record is here, and compared it before. It doesn't even matter. Is this possibly the best the worst season. I know we have 3 games left, and we could possibly have another record-breaking year of the worst record in SEC baseball ever. I get it. This most likely the worst SEC baseball or LSU baseball year in a very, 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 very long time. It's going to come at some point. It sucks that we're the ones who are getting the chance to experience it. But all these people yelling, fire Jay Johnson, fire Nate Yetzke. Next year, when in 27, maybe do something big. Don't be outside celebrating. Stay in your lane. Keep that same energy, my guy. That's all I got to say. Keep that same energy. Because if you want to sit here and celebrate the good, and then whenever stuff is bad, if you can't sit there and ride with these guys, ride with them, support them, you could be two people. You can either be the person who looks at what's going on and says, you know what, this ain't good. And every single person in here who have seen my posts, have seen my YouTube channel, have seen my podcast, have seen everything I say, I'm not Mr. Everything's great, guys. No. Going into South Carolina week, I told y'all you would be, what was it, 2-8? Now they swept South Carolina, so my prediction's gone, but it probably won't be that far off. They probably won't be that far off. Earlier this year, I caught flack from a lot of people because I said this team is a mirage of a good team. It looks like a good team, but for some reason, that good team's just not there. And at the end of the season, we will talk about how I feel everything went bad this year. I'm not doing it now because the season's not over. And like I said earlier, there's still a micron, just tiny nuclear atomic level size chance they can make the tournament. And they have to win the SEC tournament. That's what it has to be. They have to win the SEC tournament. So but there's still that micron level. So I'm not going to give up on them. And I ruffled from some feathers this week when I posted this. When I posted made the post on X the other night, and I said it's not football season for me. I was just basically talking about me. I was seeing a lot of people saying, it's football season down on X, and I was just like, no, not for me. Still here. Not saying you're not here for the guys. Most of you. The usual suspects are usual suspects. Not saying you're not here for the guys. I'm just saying for me, I'm not giving up on them no matter how bad it gets. It's that simple. Let's go to some chats real quick so I can get my heart rate down. David Belliott's in the chat. If you're not first, you're last. That's right, Ricky Bobby. Babbing on the Bayou. See, if y'all wanted somebody who's a better Christian than this man right here, he's a better Christian than I. I'll say it. He's a better Christian than I. He's a good man. Hope you're doing well, Babbitt. Tiger Joker, my friend. Hiya, folks. How you doing? Coyote Operator, Mr. Jared. Mouth breathers. That is right. There are a ton of mouth breathers. Okay, hold on. All right. I said you for a reason, Joker. Tiger Joker just sent me a picture. I'm not going to try to bring it. He changed his bio. My name is Justin. I'm not a burner. I wasn't talking about you, man. I love that guy. Daily Joy is in the house today. Hey, friend, how you doing? Love seeing Daily Joy in the house. You can't even gain weight. You need to gain some weight. Eat some more of that Mie Sourdough. My friend Alex, she has big news coming, guys. Y'all pay attention. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Kaylee, I love you, sweetie. All right. Hope your eyes are okay after this weekend. That's right. Joey's going to be in BR this weekend. Can't wait to see my friend. See, don't get so sensitive. I'm not. What's up, Jim? I love Jim to death. He knows I love him. But it's not that bad. She blocked that slapstick. Exactly. You should block the slapstick. The picture says it all. Oh, okay. No, see. No. No. Let's see. I hope it's on the ban from the box list. What list are we talking about? Okay. Am I missing everybody? I drink a whole lot, but it wasn't me. No, it wasn't you. She gets nicer seats than I have. Yeah, this guy was sitting next to me the whole game. I can attest the fact it wasn't you. You were sitting next to me. I was. Okay. Daily. You don't have to stop talking about them. Stop reposting their stuff. Stop giving them impressions and working the algorithm in their favor. I can't stop talking about them. I've been on this show for 20 minutes. I should have been done with this section 10, 12 minutes ago, and I wasn't. They are morons. They're mouth breathers. All right. Let's get to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about whatever else we're going to talk about. See you on
John 16:33, Jesus says, I've told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I've overcome the world. Like that truth that Jesus won is so powerful, so significant in our lives if we fully trust and fully surrender to that promise. Like no matter what we're going to face, no matter what stress, no matter what challenges, no matter what anxiety, like Jesus promises peace, and he reminds us that all of the sin, the fear, the doubt, the shame, like he overcame it all. He paid the price for your sin and mine when he went to that cross. He died a death that we deserve. He went into the grave. He didn't stay there. 3 days later, he rose from the grave, and the promise is true that he's coming back someday. So the power and the significance of that verse is now in a 2-word phrase that's on a t-shirt, on a hat, on a hoodie, and simply said, Jesus.
Even in the valley of the shadow of death, I can take rest, cause the living God is living in my chest. Every day I wake up feeling blessed, and even if I don't, I see it as a test.
Join me and your favorite players by expressing your faith and assisting local ministries. Use code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off your orders at JesusOneApparel.com. 15% of your purchase will support local ministries like the LSU FCA. That is code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off. Jesus One. In South Louisiana, there's nothing we love more than God, family, sports, and food. For your next get-together, make sure you contact Mie Sourdough Bakery. Whether you're gathering with friends and family for the big game or surrounding yourself with loved ones for a Sunday dinner, let Mie Sourdough Bakery provide what you need to make it that much more special. Mie Sourdough Bakery is a small batch, all organic bakery right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Go take a look at what's being mixed up in the kitchen next, as well as place your orders on Instagram at Mie Sourdough Bakery. Don't forget to pick up your regular sourdough loaves, your jalapeno cheddar loaves, cookies for those late night snacks, and cinnamon rolls for those early morning cravings. Mie Sourdough Bakery, where the first ingredients in anything made is love. Mie Sourdough Bakery. Play ball! What's up, guys? All right. I want to address one thing in the chat real quick, just to give a good point. Like a good point here. Where is it at? Our friend Ellie Joy laid a truth bomb down. Stephen Milam on a recruiting visit. Yeah, it's great, but some of them will tweet that you're overrated, so just be ready. Does anybody want anybody other than Stephen Milam on the field? Does anybody? Joy said herself, without Milam on the infield, we'd have 50 errors on the infield this year. God, just drives me nuts. Okay. We have a lot to get into. Some of it, we'll do a quick hit on the games this weekend. I saw Stanley reading the chat talking about it. But at the end of the day, it's like I said earlier this season, like I said earlier tonight, it's a mirage of a good team. Does it change how I feel about those guys? No. Some of the ways I look at some of the players now has changed. A couple of them, I'm not going to put out names, but other guys that I still love, Seth Dardar. He needs to be a loved guy because he's not 50%. I heard a lot of people kind of bagging on Mason Braun today, saying that, oh, he got allergies. Okay, the kid was thrown up in right field. Why would he make something up like that? Mason Braun, who has no reason to quit on this team, he still has at least 2 more years here. He's not going to give up. He's not going to quit. Heard somebody today said, one of my favorite things I heard today from a talking head was, it's not hard to throw a pitch over the plate. I went back and looked through all the records. I couldn't find any D1, D2, D3, JUCO, anything stats off of him. So I can't really trust what he says about throwing a pitch over the plate. Am I disappointed in the year? Yeah. Very disappointed. But, and we could speculate. What if you'd have taken certain guys out earlier in the year? Yeah, we could speculate. But there is one thing I heard somebody talk about, that having a team full of freshmen won't win games. And it's not good to win games in the SEC. And that's partially right. I mean, you see the way the freshmen have acted towards the end of the year. They have a little more time. Guys like Omar Cerna and Mason Braun have had at-bats earlier in the year. You see their offense being better at the tail end of the year now because they've had those at-bats this season. Guys like Patrick and guys like Jack Ruckert are still kind of struggling at the plate a little bit due to the fact of not having the at-bats that others have. So, yeah, like, if you'd put them in there before, would things have changed? Probably not. People say you can't use injuries to make excuses. Well, I mean, what do you want to do? 2 of your weekend starters went down for a portion of the year, 1 for the whole year. You had injuries in your bullpen that aren't talked about. Injuries in the field with guys playing injured from the beginning of the year on. Like, it's... And you can point at guys like Mikey Ryan and guys at other teams performing this year. They're not in the SEC anymore. You're going down a level. Some guys aren't SEC guys. Sorry. Doesn't mean I don't think they're good ball players. Some guys just aren't SEC caliber players. That's why they call the SEC another minor league. The best 2 conferences in the country are the SEC and the ACC, and there's a gap between the SEC and the ACC. The SEC is better. There's a reason why we've won 7 of the 8 last national titles in baseball. If only Arkansas could catch a fly ball, we'd have 8. Do you want to go hire Dave Van Horn? You heard Ronnie last week. They wanted to hire Tim Corbin. Now, Tim Corbin's a good coach. I think Jay actually says he's the best coach in the country. Now, Jay's also a really, really nice guy. Who would you hire? We'll hire O'Sullivan from Florida? Who would you hire? And I want everyone who's an LSU baseball fan or a LSU football fan watching baseball to wrap this around your head and get used to it. Pay the taxes, get it notarized. Kason Evans, Cooper Moore, William Schmidt are going to be your weekend rotation next year. Kason Evans is a first-year starter. He came out of the bullpen last year. Y'all don't remember that. And I heard Dave Neal on the broadcast this weekend say that people were expecting Kason Evans to be Paul Skeens. I hope y'all weren't. No one expected Paul Skeens to be Paul Skeens. But that's your rotation. Case Evans. And let's talk about Yeskie. Everybody wants to talk about how Nate Yeskie hasn't developed guys. Well, Kason Evans moved from a bullpen guy to a pretty good starter, in my opinion. I don't think the numbers stack up to how well he pitched, to the amount of offensive production he wasn't getting at the beginning of the year in his starts. It all adds up. I think Kaysen did a phenomenal job this year, in my opinion. Everybody's quick to forget the 15K game he had. I don't care who he was against. To get 15 to 27 outs, it's insane. Cooper Moore was the best starter on the rotation beginning of the year. It took his second game into the fifth inning for him to draw his first 3-0 count. I think he drew his first walk in that inning in 14 innings or 13 innings. William Schmidt, he's developed. Not only does he have a third pitch, but he's throwing strikes. Does he need to get lengthened out and needs to throw deeper into games? Yeah, it's development. These are, I'm going to stop saying they're kids. They're teenagers. Most of them aren't allowed to buy alcohol yet. Yeah, you want to sit there and talk about them like they're Chipper Jones or Aroldis Chapman or Derek Jeter. They're teenagers who can't buy alcohol yet. Just do me a favor. Look at them. If any of the heathens out there who talk crap have children, if anybody will sleep with you, why don't you look at them like they're your kids? If you're one of those carport dwellers or shed dwellers, because we don't have basements in here in Louisiana. If you're one of those carport dwellers or shed dwellers or closet dwellers in Louisiana who just like sit here with like this huge thing of computer screens and you're constantly playing World of Warcraft and on X and World of Warcraft and on X, if you're that person, ain't no saving you. Act like it's your favorite keyboard. I don't know what to tell you. All right. Let's see what we got in the comments real quick. I'm telling you the truth right now. I got, right before I came on, I got such a bad news. I got in a bad mood. It threw off my whole thing. I feel bad for letting it get to that. But this just drives me nuts. Okay. Let's see this real quick. We'd absolutely get some more players. If we have more positive fan base, there's a reason the recruits are careful who they follow. Yeah, you're right. Hey, Maxine, make sure your daddy buys you ice cream. Joy, I sat in Foley Field for 3 nights in a row, forever. You know what, Joy? I'm going to give you some kudos. Because a lot of people will say things about Joy or they compare Joy to other people. And again, they're mouth breathers. The people they compare Joy to, they're comparing Joy to mouth breathers, and the people who's comparing her to those people are mouth breathers as well. Some may be mongoloids. I haven't decided yet. But Joy did not make an LSU pretty hat. It's somewhere in here. I know I have the petty hat right there. The pretty hat's still in here somewhere. She didn't make an LSU pretty hat. She made an SEC pretty hat. So if you feel the urge to go on her post and say things like, oh, you're a bandwagoner. Oh, you go to these games, you're wearing these colors. She owns a business, stupid. She pays herself. Your check gets signed by someone else. She owns a business. That's called marketing and branding. It's smart. And guess what? She doesn't have a boss anymore. You do. So who's smarter? And that girl still loves LSU to the last bow in her body more than you ever will. Oh, Stan, me either, man. Even though it's been tough, I'll watch every pitch. Exactly. All right. Let's get to Stan. Difference this weekend was the hit rate and transfer players. Transfers from last year took a huge step, and the ones from this year hit. They also on 4 or 5 of their transfer pitchers. Yeah. Anthony Einson, Gage Jump, Luke Holman, Paul Skeens. People forget Riley Cooper was a transfer. The hefty lefty, one of my favorite pitchers we had out here in a while. The rubber band man. Transfer pitcher. Entire rotation with transfers. Wes Johnson needs to buy a lottery ticket. Side note, I don't like Wes at all. I don't either. And I'm not going to get into the rumors of what happened towards the end of Wes and Jay's relationship at LSU. But I don't like Wes. But give them kudos. They won. They won good. They won well. Now, are they going to have the same power in Omaha? No, because that field is a bandbox. I have never seen a right field line say 314 in my life. My 2-year-old could hit a ball over that right field fence. I'm somewhat joking, but I'm not. Place is it's like, I thought Tennessee was bad. That place is oh God. I love how baseball is open to like field dimensions. Like you have the constants of 90 feet to first base, 60.5 inches from the rubber to home plate, 90, all that jazz, right? I get all that. But how about this? Hey, Jay, I have a great idea. Money making idea here, kid. You can save money and make money at the same time. Let's take the field at Alec Box and move everything in about 20 feet. Keep center at 400. I like that's a round number. But just kind of drag everything else in, add more seats. Add more luxury suites. Making money now, kid. He felt horrific. Can't confirm. She's talking about mom. Yeah. Yeah. We talk about how great of a fan base we are. You got kids not wanting to come here. You look deathly ill walking to the bus after the game. I believe it, yeah. And some of the people who were dogging on them, I'm very disappointed because I know they're good LSU fans. I know they're good guys. I know they talk to these guys, and I'm very disappointed in them. I don't care if you think he's sick or not. He was sick. Mason Braun is going to be one of the best players in the country next year, and we're criticizing him. Tiger Joker, you threw a lot over the plate this weekend. See what happens? Yeah, you're right. Bring Paul back. No, I'm okay. Even though, look, all right. Okay, hold on. I don't want to bring Paul Mainieri back. Let's just say this right now. Okay? Let me preface this here, all right? In Paul's last 4 years, because 2020 is a COVID year, didn't count. 52 wins, 39 wins, 40 wins, 38 wins. 21 SEC wins. You were 500 in SEC in 2018, 17 wins in 2019, and then 2021 was the rough year. And I'm not even bringing that comment up, Joy, because I would not stand behind. I would not let my mouth speak it into existence. Team Casey forever. Thank you. Guys, I want y'all to look at something. I'm stupid. I noticed little things, right? Like me, a lot of the guys who did pick to click with me through the year, because they couldn't win anything, I bought them all a jersey. Just something that I thought would be nice. Let them have something because whatever. And me and David Billiot actually are talking about the pins, how they used to have the Louisiana State logo on top of the numbers back here. And now it's on the left arm. And I remember I said, I wish they still had that back there. And he says, they don't. I said, no, they don't have that back there anymore. They put it on the arm. Like, I noticed those little things. Notice numbers. Why did he give Daniel Dickinson 14? Because he reminded him of Pete Rose. The kid played like Pete Rose. Why do you think he gave Kaysen 20? Now, I don't think Jay is saying Kaysen's going to be Paul Skeens. We all saw an opening game this year. It was hard for Paul Skeens to be Paul Skeens sometimes. I don't think that. But that's how much faith he has in this guy. How much faith he has in him. Who he assigns numbers to in certain ways. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it now and hurt everyone's feelings. Mom's not coming back, in my opinion. I remember at one point, Hangriff brought up the point, is Cooper Moore throwing too many strikes? All right. Ooh, okay. I did not just praise one of the statistically worst defensive shortstops ever. Paul, Maxine just asked if we can invite her to her birthday party in July. Well, I'm open to the invite. It's up to your daddy, honey. All right. I see somebody upset in the chat. So you were happy with Yesie's coaching this season. I'm not in favor of firing, but it seems we didn't attack the strike zone. Well, Mr. Kevin V with the question. So I'm going to answer that question real quick. Hold on. Let me get real close. Okay. Yeskie can't throw the pitches off the mound. Now, I'll say this. Are there some pitch selection that I don't agree with? Yes. Sometimes pitch selection I don't agree with. But guess what? He's been to Omaha with 4 teams as a pitching coach. He's developed these guys. If you don't see the development, you're not watching. Do I agree with every single thing? No. I came out here and my reaction in fall was your rotation would be Kaysen, Rizzi, and Cowan. So I don't know more than Nate Yeskie. And no, we should not fire him. But you have a guy who's on Friday coming out of a bullpen and going to be the Friday night ace for your team. You bring in a transfer portal guy. He evaluates pitchers pretty well because he was the best pitcher on your staff until he got hurt. He had 1 bad game. And like Stan just brought up, Charles Hannegriff had to find something to complain about. So he said, is Cooper Moore throwing too many strikes? And William Schmidt has not only developed pitches and learned how to throw strikes more efficiently, his best game, y'all won't remember. To me, it was the Kentucky game because he stranded guys. He did a good job pitching that day. You look at throwers. I look at pitchers. So, yeah, I do agree with how Nate Yeskie's coaching. I do agree with that. It's okay. He just said Lane doesn't know who he is. I'm so confused right now. Let's see. He can't catch it, though. That's one thing. He can't catch it. I love him to death. I need to work on him. Catch it. I'm not defending Paul. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. Do y'all want to get into hold on. Who was born after 2009? No. I was born 20 years prior to that. All right. Do y'all want to get into Lane real quick? I wasn't going to step into this fire, but might as well step into it. So I didn't read the full Vanity Fair article, but it's funny. All of the J drama kind of bled over. I didn't get to see a lot of the Lane drama, which Ole Miss fans are just going to Ole Miss fan, you know. But I know a lot of it revolved around him saying the not being able to step away from the Confederate flag. And a reason I want to bring this up real quick is I'm going to give y'all a little history lesson. All right, a little history lesson because I think a take that a lot of Ole Miss people are using. I'm ex-military. I love military history. I love Louisiana. A lot of them are using that. Where did the name the Fighting Tigers or the Bayou Bengals come from? There's a little history lesson for you. Bayou Bengals or the Fighting Tigers came from pre-Civil War. It was a infantry regiment out of New Orleans. That's where they were named after. And they were called the Fighting Tigers because they're the ferociousness and the veracity in which they fought back at the enemy. The way they pushed people back, the way they fought, it was very they said they reminded them of tigers, and they were the Fighting Tigers. And yes, that name stuck around through the Civil War with the Confederacy, past the Civil War. They went and fought in the War of 1812. That's our history. Were the Fighting Tigers part of the Confederacy? Yeah, they were. We're from Louisiana, guys. We're from Louisiana. The Battle of New Orleans happened not too far from here. There's Confederate camps all over this area, right? We've left that past a long time ago here in Louisiana. Is there racial tensions? Yes, there is. I don't think you'll ever get past that from the way that social media, traditional media, regular media, mouth breathers in everyday life act, and they don't let things go. But I'm not trying to make this political or social justice thing. I'm just saying there's going to be racial tension. Go to a LSU tailgate. Go to a LSU football tailgate, baseball tailgate, basketball tailgate, whatever tailgate, and go look at your racial tensions. Seems like a pretty good melting pot. Now, speaking of Caden, posted a video from the Raw Room, the podcast, the Raw Room, and it was a former Ole Miss player talking about the racial tendencies in Oxford and the fact that they still flew a Confederate flag over that university. He never realize it. He said because the trees covered it, made a canopy below the flagpole. But and he was talking about the day the KKK showed up for the LSU Ole Miss game. Because they played a song by Dixie, and a parent or somebody made a statement about the news, and the KKK showed up. Look, a lot of the stuff actually I found when I did read parts of the article showed me that Lane didn't say some of the things that they're claiming he said. A lot of that was from parents who they interviewed on that weekend, who talked about how the inclusiveness around LSU and Baton Rouge is so wonderful. Reading is not a strong point in Oxford. I always think it's funny because you hear the word. Last night I was listening to a podcast and a guy graduated from Oxford in Europe. But I hear Oxford now and I think of, I need to change the name of that town because the term Oxford is usually meant for higher education, not Ole Miss. So I would say this, like Lane says, let them. Don't let this turn it into a violent moment. If you go to Oxford next year, all that's going to happen is you're going to get arrested, and all their parents are lawyers. I don't know their parents. I can just see how they dress. Because you know how they're going to twist stuff. Because we all saw the guy with the Kate Anderson jersey at the Ole Miss series this year. Now, my opinions on it. If you're going to be an LSU fan, especially an older aged LSU fan, like even my age, I'm not going to go sit in the student section. It's not a good idea. It's not going to be fun. But they all said he just turned off and hit the guy. No, the guy threw a drink at him after he was getting assaulted in the stands. Now, the guy shouldn't have thrown a punch. The guy should have took his breath and moved on. I agree. So, we all knew we were going to get this when we hired Lane. We all knew this. Now, I didn't see the Vanity Fair article coming out, but I'm happy he's on our team. I have no. It's going to sound terrible. I'm not a racist man. I hate every race of idiots. Every race has idiots. I don't hate any man. I dislike anybody who's an idiot or a mouth breather or mongoloid. And it's how you carry yourself. Right? How you carry yourself. Saying someone isn't acting very Jesus one-like, you're a mouth breather, a mongoloid, and I can't stand you. You're a bad representation of college baseball. So it extends past Ole Miss fans. All right. Let's look at this real quick. I was after your rant about Lon calling me a bandwagon fan. Yeah. They're stupid. But you're successful. They still have to get paid from X. Okay. Zach, the difference is LSU doesn't use the damn Confederate flag or other Confederate symbols in their sports branding. Anybody want to look up where the term Ole Miss came from? daily. I will probably catch a charge, so y'all get ready to bail me out. I'm already funding your bail money. That's it. I'll take this over BK any day of the week. Exactly. Exactly. Spoil me more, King. Spoil me more. His plan was to come to BR's weekend, so let's pray he changes his mind. BK? I'm so confused right now. I'm so confused. Who's Lon? Is Lon coming to BR this weekend? He can afford the flight? Oh. And I'll say this. Come get some food at my tailgate. It's open to anyone. Just don't talk about my faith. That's it. Let's get into some other stuff real quick. Let's talk about Tigers and the pros. All right. Okay. I kind of stuck to a lot of the minor league guys just because we see what everybody's doing in the major leagues. I get it. We all get it. We see it every day. A lot of us don't follow minor leagues as well. We see the little post LSU Baseball makes, but I kind of want to take some stuff into account, kind of give y'all updates on everybody. Kane Anderson, we all know how well he's doing. He's in Double-A. In the last week, he's had one start. He went 5 2/3 innings. We all saw this graphic. I believe they had this graphic. 2 hits, 1 run earned, 1 walk, 9 Ks. On the year, this is what's astounding me with Kane Anderson right now and how I'm really excited to see him go to AAA with the ball change because it does make a difference. He has 30 innings pitched. He's faced 106 batters. He's given up 15 hits, 2 earned runs. He's only walked 5. 47 Ks and 30 innings pitched. Guys, his ERA is 0.6. I don't care if it's Double-A or not. 0.6 is redonkulous, guys. It's filthy. Cade is showing that he is nothing but a cheese grater in the minor leagues right now. It's amazing to see. And what I love about Cade doing it so much, because I'm going to talk about Anthony, and Anthony's doing a great job. He just got called up to AAA baseball. Not AAA, I apologize. Double-A. Anthony just got called up to Double-A baseball, and he's doing an amazing job as well. What I love about what Cade Anderson is doing in Double-A ball right now in his first ever outing, and a lot of people are going to say it's his first time. There's not a lot of scouting report on him. They're looking at what he did at LSU before. What I like about it is he doesn't have the overpowering stuff. If you'd tell me Paul Skeens in Double-A 0.6, okay, he's throwing 102. K doesn't have, he reminds me a lot of like a Tom Glavine kind of guy. Now Glavine had a little bit of velocity, kind of like Cade early in his career, but he's very finesse pitcher, and he's pitching. He's not throwing. Paul Skeens is a pitcher as well. I'm just saying, a lot of guys go up there, they're throwers. That's why they're in the minors. They get stuck in the minors. Cade's up there pitching flawlessly. I mean, it has to be a boring day when Cade's on the mound. That's probably why they only leave him in there for like 5 innings. The guys will fall asleep out in the field. They have nothing to do. But Cade's doing an amazing job. He's representing LSU in the brand and this program very well in minor leagues. I still don't see him getting to the show this year, not even the September call-ups, just because he's so young. I want to see the ball change. You know what I mean? I want to see the ball change. Bill Yacht brings up a good point. That's the same guy that had a 27 ERA in the SEC his freshman year, but Yeskie isn't a good coach. What's his name? I think his name's Kevin. Kevin, how's his coaching? Ha! All right. This guy was a transfer, and his stuff got better when he got with Nate Yeskie. Let's talk about him. Anthony Ianson. He just got called up to Double-A. Good job. Good job. Good job. Anthony Ianson, in his first start in Double-A ball, this is his first start. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run earned. It was a homer. 1 walk, 4 Ks. To me, that's a great line in the first Double-A start. I've tried to beat this into people's heads. Double A is where your prospects are. Double A is where you have guys that you see a lot of chance getting to the bigs. Triple A is kind of a middle ground. You have guys move back and forth from the show, guys who are like Trey Morgan's in Triple A right now. The Rays see him getting to the show a lot quicker. He was in Double A for a while, but being in Durham gives him a chance to have an injury, get Trey Morgan up there, which I looked up Trey Morgan stats. I know some people were going to ask. Trey hasn't played since like April 6th. Don't know what's going on. Try to find some news on it. I don't know what's going on. But there wasn't anything really to update. Anthony Ianson on the year, similar to Cade. This is including his high A ball stats. 24 in the third innings pitched, 10 hits. So in high A, he only gave up 7 hits in 20 innings, 2 earned runs. So he had 1 earned run in 20 innings pitched. And there was another homer. 4 walks, 0.74 ERA combined. Now, Anthony has some overpowering stuff. We all see the graphic of him touching 100. He has overpowering stuff. But what I like about Anthony is he doesn't rely on the overpowering stuff. Right? Nothing wrong with relying on it if you can. Paul Skeens relies on the overpowering stuff a lot because he can. Because from the same slot, he can make a ball move to the top of the zone, bottom of the zone, bottom of the zone, top of the zone, and it'll all look like the same pitch coming out, and it's 4 different pitches. He created a new pitch. Anthony's going to be a dude, man. He's going to be in Boston. And he's going to be driving Zach Nunez crazy with them Yankees here in the next coming years. Dylan Cruz, I was going to touch on him. Kind of like the same way I was going to touch on Trey Morgan. He's going through a swing change. All I'm going to say. I didn't bring up the stats. He's going through a swing change. Give Dylan time, but Dylan will be back to DC3. I hope he gets moved out of Washington. Let's talk about Ethan Fry. On the Ethan Fry in the last week is hitting 391. Right? He has where did I mess that up at? This is 9 hits, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 1 stolen base. I wrote down his at-bats. I shouldn't have done that. 391, 9 hits, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and a stolen base in 1 week. The stolen base numbers what got me. We don't run a lot at LSU. We never have, even since the skip days. We never ran a lot at LSU. I just read Zach's comment. He's picking it up here. Ethan's starting to get the groove. And like I said before in the past, with the way the ball just catapults off Ethan's bat, it's something to behold. I love it. On the year, because that's why I'm saying he's starting to catch it, because he wasn't hitting as well until like the last week or so. Over the year, he is 243 with 2 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs. He had 2 home runs in the last week, and he has 3 home runs in the season. Starting to see it. 7 stolen bases. That's the number I can't. Well, I know Ethan's fast. Why don't we? If that's one question I could ask him on, like, utilizing talent, why don't we run more? Is it just something that your offensive philosophy? Like, that's something I have to ask Jay. 7 stolen bases on the year for Ethan. He is killing it with the Astros organization. I'd like to see Ethan get to Double A this year. If he keeps up this kind of hitting, and I'm sure he's doing well in the field. I have no doubts in Ethan in the outfield. Maybe Ethan can move to first base. He has big enough frame, big enough guy. Let him just focus on the bat, kind of save his legs. But I think they're going to want to use that speed in the outfield at the next level. Jared Jones, also on high A ball. Also, he was performing a little bit better than Ethan, to be honest with you, through this first part of the season. Jared Jones on the year has been in the last week. I apologize. He's also hitting 333. He had 7 hits, a double, 2 home runs as well. He had 4 RBIs. All right. Very comparable. Ethan had a leg up. It is what it is. He's still doing a very good job. On the year, that's what I'm saying. He's doing a little bit better than Ethan through the beginning part of his minor league career. He's batting 304, 31 hits, 5 doubles, 4 home runs, and 13 RBIs. Jared Jones, another guy. If he can, I believe they have him at first base. I'm not mistaken. I don't think they're going to put him at third. Jared Jones, another guy, though, that if he can find a way to keep the bat hot and really learn how to pick up pitches out of the hand a little bit better at that next level. I'd like to see him get to Double A and see what he does there. Double A is like a testing ground, in my opinion. Now, I did not play minor league baseball. I'm not an expert in that at all. Some of you in the community, I have forgotten more baseball than you ever know. But when I said that before, I was talking about Jay Johnson. But for some of you, I have forgotten more baseball than you'll ever know, especially about hitting. Just FYI. Congratulations to Tommy White for getting to AAA. Good job. Good job. Good job. Now, last week in AAA, it was a good week, not a great week. People look at averages, and you always hear the adage, if you fail 7 out of 10 times in baseball, you're a Hall of Famer. Yeah, we're a Hall of Famer. He hit 273. He had 6 hits, a double, and 2 RBIs in his first week. First week in AAA. It is a step up in competition to a point. You have guys with better stuff, guys who've been in the show or have touched the show or should be in the show. The one thing that breaks my heart about Tommy White, when he does get called up eventually one day, he's going to basically turn around and be in the same locker because Las Vegas doesn't have a field yet, and they're playing at a minor league field, which daily joy. I have not forgotten about Vegas, and can't wait. I can't wait. There's some people in the chat, though, said they wouldn't go. Come on now. All right. On the year, Tommy White is hitting 314, 11 hits, 3 doubles, a home run, and 5 RBIs. Good start to the year. It's early in the year. They play a lot. So we're going to keep up with them. Give y'all updates whenever y'all can. If y'all like the updates. If you don't, you don't. It's whatever. A couple other things to touch on. Eastern Royal. He won, I believe it was the baton, whatever you call that race. I didn't run track. I was not a fast individual. Won a track meet here at the state level. Great thing about that was I should have gotten a picture. Took a picture after the game or after the track meet. If it wasn't AI or doctored, in an LSU hoodie. He's currently a Texas commit. Now, granted, he was in Baton Rouge on LSU's campus. I don't mean nothing. Lane's fighting. If it was that racist down here, you think Eastern Royal will be talking to Lane about that? Another thing to bring up real quick, NCAA sent a letter out to Division I coaches. I know you can't read that, it's whatever. Talking about teams canceling midweek games to help their RPIs and how they need to take a stop to it. Hooray. They need to. They need to cut that crap out, man. I know a lot of us kind of wish at times, like in 23 and 25, why we got to play these midweek games? Play them. You schedule them, play them. You're going to have the same issue come football season, though, with the SEC going to a 9-game schedule, having to play at least one Power 4 opponent outside of your league schedule. Why they did this, I still don't understand. Why they even got close to doing that. Why do you need to make the hardest conference in the country even harder? Indiana won a national championship, guys. Oh, anyways, you're going to have a lot of these issues with, because I forget who it was last year. Was it Miami? Or was it something? I can't remember. Canceled an early season cupcake game and just kind of washed it off to the side and said, we don't need to play that. You're going to have a lot of that, right? And they want to have big matchups in college football. Well, okay, you got 9 games SEC schedule. Maybe one of those 9 or what you can consider a cupcake. Like, say, for instance, you play Missouri or, gosh, I don't know, South Carolina, or Tennessee. Whoever you want to say is a cupcake game, whoever Coach Heupel is coaching, whoever you want to say is a cupcake game, you're not going to really have one in the SEC. Then you got to make one Power 4 opponent like we do right now with Clemson, which would be a great game. I think it's going to be a great way to introduce Lane to Baton Rouge because that rivalry, whatever you want to call it, kind of died when Garrett Nussmeier beat him last year in Clemson. So I don't want this to come off wrong. Whenever I think of the Clemson University now, and I don't mean this as a slight to the people in this show, but my wife and I loved watching Love on the Spectrum. My wife has a brother with with autism. He's nonverbal, and that's something very near and dear to my heart. So it's great to watch their interactions because it's a great show. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it's great. But they had that one kid from Clemson, and that we were watching that coming up to the season last year. And now all I think about is that one guy. Can't remember his name right now. Was his name Connor? I think his name was Connor's a kid from Georgia. Anyways, I think of Clemson, I think of Love on the Spectrum. I'm not trying to be mean to those kids on Love on the Spectrum. I love that show. Great show, especially if you have a wife. Great show. But derailed the fact, why go to a 9-game schedule? You're going to have this issue coming up with football as well. And I don't know how the NCAA is going to get a handle on it. Does it turn into a super league again with the SEC and the Big 10 or the Big 12, however you want to say it? I don't know. Anyways, let's go to the chat real quick, see if I missed anything, and then we will get to Pick to Click. All right. Opening another Jesus One package now makes for a good day. It does. This one right here is my second hoodie. Other one, I don't buy white stuff a lot because even if you don't try to get it dirty, it gets dirty. But go ask Zach, go ask Justin, or Tiger Joker, or Justin, whatever you want to call him. Go ask anybody how this gear feels. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm a Yankees fan. The Yankees themselves drive me nuts. Yeah, you're right. Fry's an athlete. Say that again. Athlete. Should have seen him play quarterback. Yeah. So a lot of people say, like, I remember, if anybody remembers the name Wade Miley, I played with Wade Miley at La Ranger, and I played football with Wade Miley. And Wade was our quarterback his senior year. He got kicked off the team, or he quit the team because he wanted to make a showcase, and the coaches were like, no, if you miss practice, you can't play. Well, he's like, well, I'm going to play Major League Baseball and throw no hitter for the Cincinnati Reds. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to leave. But he was a hell of a quarterback too. I ain't going to Vegas to have my Vegas fill. That's a different type of Vegas. Vegas wants me to go, but my bank account doesn't want me to. I'll tell you a secret, Joker. I'll tell you a secret. Last time I went to Vegas, it was one of those timeshare experiences where it was like $250 for like 4 nights, 5 days at this place. And I flew with Spirit on the way there. But you sign up for one of those, you go to a 3-hour meeting for nothing, say, nah, I'm good, and then you just enjoy your trip. Enjoy your trip. I'll have mine on Wednesday night. It's fantastic. Yes, Southeastern Wade Miley. He was talking about Jesus One Apparel. Southeastern Wade Miley. That is right. You see Wade 3 times a week now at Albany Ballpark. What's he doing? I need to talk to you about that. See what he's doing at Albany, because I know Pittman ain't there no more. I think Gabe Woods was the coach there for a while. Anyways, let's get to Pick to Click real quick. All right. So tonight for Pick to Click, we have, this is for the Skip Bertman Baseball. Miss Peggy, Domino LSU, Mr. Scott Meyer again. He just keeps getting it right. He hadn't had a chance to win lately. Trey Hoppy, Blake Press, your boy Kev 504, Kev, and Stan the Man. A couple newcomers here today. Let's see who wins the Skip Bertman Baseball. Here, why aren't you working? No. Let me do this real quick. Oh, don't do this to me. Let me see if I can get this fixed, guys. I think I was just a little too hyped up on my rant, and then the webpage decided it didn't want to work anymore. All right. Oh, I got it. Let me do this real quick. Sorry about technical difficulties. Up. Give me 1 second. All right. Let me do this again. Technical difficulties. I apologize. Did not mean for him to be there. All right. Back to this. All right. Who wins? And the winner is your boy Kev, 504. Oh. One man show here, guys. One man show. Yes. Congratulations, your boy Kev. Let me write your name down on the pack so I don't forget. Message me on X on the Paul Jarrett page, please, because I don't check the messages on the Walk It Off page very often. Won the ball, buddy. Other than that, I want to explain something real quick. I'm not going to take y'all very long. Coaching his son and rec. Oh, okay. Rec team. Alan Faneca, new offensive line coach of St. Paul's. God, they about to have some dogs come out of St. Paul, buddy. It's gonna be hard for some St. Paul kids to be dogs, though. Not gonna lie. All right. Before I let y'all go, I like to end every show on a with a Bible verse. I want to explain why. I want to explain something why I got so worked up earlier about stuff with my faith. I was wanting to find a better way to do this another time, talk about it, but you did win one, Scott. I gotta go back and check. You did win something, Scott. I gotta send it to you. And why I say I'm not a perfect Christian, I never will be a perfect Christian. The only perfect man that ever walked this earth was Jesus Christ. But the reason why I dive so much into my faith now, I have a past, not a great past, and I'm sure people have seen my clips or seen the show now from my past could say, what's that guy wearing a Jesus One shirt for? They'd be right to say that. The reason why I'm wearing this now is because I'm diving into my faith and I want to truly express the grace and the beauty it is to allow Christ into your heart. And the things that will happen, you will never understand. And if I could tell you the full story with names, it would be a lot funnier, but I'm not going to give you all my kids' names. A little over a year ago, my second child was being born. And before now, spent my time in the military. I lost my father. My faith was really shook. Bad. To the point where, I'll be honest, my wife would be sitting there praying, we'd be holding hands, getting ready for dinner, and I was just closing my eyes, respecting her. And I didn't pray. My faith was very shook. So we have our first child, get pregnant again, having our second child. Everything's good. My wife is a gangster, by the way. If you've heard, she doesn't want me to tell the story of how she's a gangster, but those who know she's a gangster. How she gave birth to my sons. Well, she gives birth to my son, my second son, and everything's perfect. He's a healthy baby. We come home, and family's over, seeing the new baby. And we notice there's some issues. Something doesn't look right. So we, any kind of parents do, we freak out. We didn't freak out. We're scared, and we bring him to the hospital. Thinking, maybe it's a birthmark, maybe it's whatever. Something, because after your first child, you start to realize that you freak out over stuff that you probably shouldn't freak out about. You don't take as many trips to the ER with your second child because you realize he's okay. But we go to the ER. And in the ER, the ER doctors and the nurses are saying things like different diseases and the word septic a lot. Saying my son was going to go septic. Meaning he was going to die. they wanted to do things like do a spinal tap on a child that was 26 hours old. Thank God I said no. Come to find out when they did the first initial blood test, he wasn't clotting. And it wasn't, he had the vitamin K shot, all that jazz, but he wasn't clotting. So if they would have done the spinal tap, I think my son would not be here today. And they were trying to figure out all these things that were wrong with him, and none of them were good. They couldn't tell us anything about what they could do to help him. So they admitted him into the NICU, and we talked with another doctor there, very nice man. And he's giving us some hope, but I'm scared to death because I think I'm going to leave that hospital without my son. And I sat there that night. I got in trouble for this, but I didn't care. I was holding my son in the chair. I ended up falling asleep with him. But I remember before I fell asleep, something came over me, and I just begged Christ to let me bring my son home. Whatever you need, if you let me bring my son home, I will rededicate myself to you, and that's it. There is no more going back. Heavenly Father, I will do whatever I have to do to exalt your name and to fix my life to be a better representation for you. And to give you an idea what was wrong with him, you ever look at like a bodybuilder or somebody who's in really, really good shape? Not me, they're vascular. You see the blue veins in their arms. Well, he had that from his head down to his ankle on his right side only. It was strange. It was strange. So I sat there and I prayed. Something I hadn't done in a long time. I hadn't done that in a very long time. But I promised him that if I was able to bring my son home, that was it. I was dedicating my life to him. Well, next morning I wake up. We are sitting in the room. I get fussed at for holding my son and falling asleep, which is fine by me. And my wife and I both get up, and the doctor comes in, checks him out, and says, everything's fine. He said, everything's fine. You can take him home today. So, if you wonder why I get so uptight or upset about people mocking my faith or trying to use my faith against me, I'm not a perfect Christian. I won't be. I can try my best. God knows I'll try my best, but I can't. That's why you don't hear me curse. I want to be a version, or not a version. I want to be a example of, even if you want to have your kids in a room when you hear me talk, they may hear me go crazy or say crazy things or talk about people. That's fine. But I want to be a good example. So I'm not, and I know Joy said something about him showing up this weekend. And I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm talking about Chris Phillips. Me and Chris Phillips had an interaction. He said something about my Jesus One shirt. I'll be open and honest about that. I'll say this to Chris. I've already forgiven you. You can come and get food at my tailgate. I'll hug you. I hold no ill will to you or anyone else. But that's why I get so uptight about it. Because not only did this man send his best for us, for the sins we commit, he gave me my son back. He gave me my son back. So, dag nabbit. All right. Before we go, 1 John chapter 2, verse 2. And he is the atoning sacrifice for our sins, and not for ours only, but also for the whole world. Be nice to somebody in this world of hate, in this world of just bashing and all of it. Be nice. I hate to say turn the other cheek, but just love one another. If we want to talk about and point out the hatred amongst other people and the way they hate on other people, you don't point that out with hatred. You point it out with love. You point that out with sincerity. You point that out with how God would want it. So remember, God loves you. All he wants you to do is love him back. As well as we're going to have, oh, by the way, show Wednesday, not Thursday. Show is going to be Wednesday. I don't want to do the show or have the show up during the game. So show Wednesday at 6:00. I'm going to try to have a fun guest come on. We'll see what happens. But show Wednesday at 6. And no show Thursday. Pick to Click's going to be fun this weekend. If you come out to the game, let me know. We'll have a tailgate up. We're going to get together. I'm going to bring food again. I have, y'all see right here, that's some already won stuff, some not won stuff I'm going to give away. So Pick to Click for the rest of the year is going to be a little juicier because I thought we'd be playing longer. That's how much I cared. I bought more stuff than I needed for Pick to Click. So please come see me. We'll be right there by the porta potties by gate 2 by the team building in the bullpen lot. So I hope to see you. Remember, show Wednesday. And just remember that God loves you. I love you. Hope you all have a great evening. Hug your kids. Hug your wife. Tell me you love them.